The day we resume, the day we resume school is the joyful part. I I um I didn't go to boarding school in secondary school, but my siblings, some of my siblings did, and for them, the resumption dates at times is the ugly date because they are leaving home, they are going, especially when they were in junior classes, they are going back to go and meet those seniors again, those horrible seniors. And then the closing date is the day they are coming, was the day they are coming home. And so they were super excited. But for some people also, because they want to run away from house chores, resumption to boarding school was the funny, the amazing day. And then coming back after school was back to house chores, back to washing plates, back to going to farm, back to all those things. Now, every new day, there is a resumption and an end date. The day we resume or the time we resume, the time we close. Now, unfortunately, many of us may not understand the effect of the resumption and closing because before we know it, it's already 24 hours. But when we get to a day like this, when we get to a day like this, it becomes really clear to a lot of people that something has something resumed at some point and something has just ended. For some people, they do this awakening comes to them every single day, every single day. As they wake up in the morning, wow, this is a new day. We're going to make something out of it. And then as they are closing the day, as it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, they've not hit their goals for the day. They begin to wonder, they become restless. While some other people, most people will be like, I still have tomorrow. I still have next tomorrow. So they don't get this awakening in every day. Some don't get it in a week. Some don't even get it month after month. They get it after 3 months. Some people get this awakening after 6 months, like we have now. And it becomes clear that 6 months have gone. It becomes clear that January 2024 has been left by 6 months, or 2023 has been left by 6 months. And we start asking, what did we do with the past 6 months? What exactly did we do? What exactly did we achieve in the past 6 months? Because the past 6 months moved very fast, at least for me, I know it did. We can remember what the last 6 months of 2023 was. From July 2023 to December 2023, we can remember. And if we take a look, if we take stock at that July to December 2023, and we compare it to January to June 2024, what would we say had happened differently? Things have happened. We are still alive to the glory of God. Out of the mercy of God, we are still here. So today, a morning like this becomes a day of appraisal, a day of self-assessment, a day for team assessment to ask ourselves, how far have we gone? How far have I gone as an individual? With this thing that I have chosen to do, with this thing that I have accepted to do, not because I am forced, but because I chose to do it. Because some of us may say, if not this economy, I won't be doing this business. And I can also let you know that even in this economy, there are other things you could be doing. So even if you choose this as an option, it does not eliminate the fact that there are other things other people are still doing that you could be doing. But you have chosen this. And since you have chosen this, Let's judge ourselves based on our choices. So looking at the past 6 months, I want you to write for yourself. Don't write in the chat room. I want to, first of all, pull out a fresh sheet of paper and let's look at the last 6 months. What was your best month ever in the last 6 months? What was your best month ever in the last 6 months? If you feel compelled to write in the group chat, feel free. But I want you to use this for your self-assessment. Ask yourself, that's what we're going to do it. I want you to take a moment and go through January. January 2024, were you at the event in Jos? Were you in the business then? Were you at the event in Abeokuta? What was it? What was, from whatever happened there, from the launch of the Diamond Project? Some of us, we are at the event in Jos. We were at the event in Abeokuta. We were also at the event in Lagos. Some of us attended 2/3. Some of us attended 3/3. Some of us attended 1/3. Some of us were not here yet. But looking at what has happened with that launch and with the retreat and all the trainings, I was having a discussion with Ambassador Ante a couple of days ago, and she was like, it's like we're one of those, if not the only people that did training for the entire team for the year. And maybe, yeah, I think so. So with all those things, what and everything you gathered that January and did that January, what was your best month from January through February, March, April, May, and June? What was your best month? That month that you have identified as your best month, what even made it the best month? What made it your best month? What even made it your best month? For some of us who have not spent a month here yet, or have spent a lot of months, just within the months you've spent so far, you can also make this analysis. If you're just 1 week in the business, ask yourself, what is the best day since I joined the business? This assessment is for everyone. We're taking we're just marking our report card. What was your best month? That month you have identified as your best month. What even made it the best month? What about it making it bigger? Was it because you made your highest income? Was it because you signed up the highest number of people? Was it because someone in your team became a Kingsman? Was it because you attended so retreats? Was it because you did the highest number of the highest number of prospecting? What exactly made it the best month? What? Now, for you to target the best month, the best week, or the best day, it means there is something interesting. There's a win you had in that month. There was a win you had. Now, that win you had, for you to still remember it, it means it still gives you some form of fulfillment, some form of excitement. So how does that feeling make you? How does that excitement, that feeling you have, how does it live with you? I think that's the sentence. How does it live with you? Whenever you remember it, that, oh, in this month, I made so amount of money. How does it make you feel? In this month, I helped so person become this. How does it make you feel? In so month, I achieved this. How does it make you feel? In so month, I was celebrated as the top earner for the team. How does it make you feel? Because there must have been something about that month that made it the best for you, right? I want you to keep that feeling in mind. And let's go to the next thing, which is, what was your worst month in the last 6 months? What was your worst month in the last 6 months? What was that month that if you had your way, you would, if you had a way of removing and replacing month, you would have replaced that month? What made it the worst month even? Was it an opportunity you missed? Was it a sign up you missed? Was it someone who had potential in your team that you allowed to die off? Was it something that you know that if you have put in a little more pressure, you could have achieved it, but because of procrastination, because of laziness, because of one thing or the other, you didn't make that happen? What made it the worst month? Was it the month you recorded zero income? Was it the month you recorded zero sign up? Was it the month you recorded least number of sign up? What exactly made it the worst month? Now, that thing that made it the worst month, how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? Before we go to the next thing I want us to look at, I want you to, while I say keep the feeling of your best month, I want you to as well keep the feeling of the worst month. The reason I ask you to keep the feeling of the worst month is not so that you cry over spilled milk, but that scar is necessary for what you want to achieve in the next 6 months. I was speaking to an audience over the weekend on Friday or so, and I told them something about forgiveness and forgetting the hurt. You know, many of us, I want to draw a lesson from there. The reason why some leaders in Nigeria still do to us what they did to us many years ago is because we forget very easily. A forgetful man is a used man. Write that down. A forgetful man is a used man. Let's say something hurts you, or let's start from a human being. Somebody hurts you. Somebody does something that wrongs you. And whether the person asked for forgiveness or not, you are expected, it is demanded of you to forgive. It is demanded of you to forgive, not because it is the rational thing to do. No, it is not rational to forgive. It is rational to forgive because you want also to be forgiven. But you don't want to be forgiven, not just by this same person, but by the supreme being who has, will I say, ordered us, who has commanded us to forgive because he forgives us, to forgive because it's good to forgive. But the mistake you will make that will hurt you again and even worse, which means you are not wise, you're not applying wisdom, is to forget that pain, to forget the scenario that made that happen. If you forget, it means you are not learning. If you forget, it means you are not growing. If you forget, it means you are not aware of what you need to go to a new level. If you forget, it means you are not learning. Forgive, not even because the person deserves it. No, There are many reasons we can use to justify why somebody deserves our forgiveness or not. Whereas an occasion deserves our forgiveness or not. Well, whether we deserve our own forgiveness or not. But don't forget, because if you forget, you will go back into the same thing that made you want to forgive again. And if you keep not forgetting, you'll get to a point when you won't want to forgive anymore. In this same situation, when we draw correlation, when we take a cue from that into the things or the months that we didn't like at all, the question is this: what of that month that you did not like made it the month that is the worst for you? What is the taste of that? You wanted to buy that thing that you needed and you could not. How did it make you feel? Someone was a local government chairman and he embezzled the money of the local government. Even a child in primary school knew that this local government chairman embezzled the money. And the same person now contests for governorship or House of Rep, and you deceive yourself and say this person will not do it again. No, the person did not deceive you. You are the one that forgot your pain. You are the one that forgot your pain. A snake does not shed its skin to become an eagle. A snake sheds its skin only to become a bigger snake. It is still a snake. We make excuses, we bring spirituality, wrong spirituality as far as I know, spirituality, because that's not even what the Bible teaches, at least to the best of my understanding. It's not even what the Bible teaches. We mix these things up and we fail to learn. We fail to learn from the things that have hurt us. How did you feel in that month when you didn't make income? Some of us, we are so bitter with ourselves. A day has passed, 2 days have passed, 1 week have passed. You've forgotten it. And you are back living your life the same way you lived it that ended you up in that feeling that you detested so much. The question is this: what have you actually learned? What have you actually learned? Someone said, beat me once, it is on you. Beat me the second time, it is on me. Beat me once, it's on you. I may not even be aware that you're about to beat me. I may not be aware. You may not be aware. I may not know. I may not know that you're about to beat me. I may not even know you have the ability to beat me. I may not even know. But if you beat me the second time, no, I am the one that failed to learn from the first beating. I was waiting for the second and the third to confirm. I knew you have the ability. I knew that if I continue prospecting like this, I know that if I continue showing up to the business like this, I know that if I continue following this one down line, this is what I will end up with. I know, you know, we know. Yet we do the same thing, and we're expecting that the taste will be different. No matter how much salt you add to food, it will never be sweet like sugar. It will be salty. No matter how much salt you add to food, there is nothing that will make that food to be sweet like sugar. It will be salty because what you're adding is salt. I want you to bring to you the forefront of your mind that thing about that worst month that made you, some of us even almost went into depression in that month. In that, what I want you to bring it to forefront. And if you detest that feeling so much, can it be strong enough with which to tell yourself that thing that happened in March, it was the last time it will ever happen to me? That thing that happened that March of 2024, that April of 2024, that January of 2024 was the last January of my life that will ever be like that. Or will you forget and let it repeat? Is somebody following me? Is somebody following me? Is somebody following me? Is somebody following me? Let's take this a step further. Listen to this. In the last 6 months, did you grow? In the last 6 months, did you grow? Imagine that you rear dog and you have two female dogs. You know, they call them bitch. The female of a dog is called a bitch. So you have two bitches, and as they grew older and older, got to the stage of 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 being able to bear puppies, you introduced a male to them, and few months down the line, one of them gave birth to 8 puppies, whereas the other one did not. You now, after nurturing that one, did medication on the other one that didn't bear any child, tamed it, paid more attention to it, gave it all the medications, took it to the vet. They did everything, they certified everything okay, and you introduced another male at the right time, yet it didn't get pregnant, no puppies. You did the same routine, they confirmed everything is okay, you introduced a new one, and guess what? It became pregnant. It gave birth to 8 puppies, but by itself, it beat the 8 puppies to death. By itself, it beat the 8 puppies to death. You said, okay, maybe it's the phobia of giving birth like that. Maybe because he has never given birth. You went through vet again, everything, introduced a male again. He gave birth to a next time 10 puppies and he beat all 10 to death by itself. The question is this, what will you do? And whereas the other one gives birth, takes care of the young, of the puppies, they grow, you've sold them, you've made some money, you took care of it and all that. But this other one was not giving birth at the beginning. Eventually it started giving birth, but by itself, it will bite the puppies to death, its own puppy. The question I asked, in fact, it got to a point that it even killed one of the puppies of the other one. The question I ask you is this, what will you do to that beach? What would you do to that feed dog? What would you do to it? I want to see your response in the chat room. What will you do to it? Will you keep it? Will you kill it? Will you sell it? What will you do? You will sell it. Hmm. Okay. What else? What will you do to it? Will you keep it? Will you say, I'm sure that by next year it will become more mature. I'm sure by next year, by next 3 months, it will be more sane. I sure. What will you do to that baby? What will you do to it? You will kill it. I will give it some time. I will take it to a trainer. Okay. With all the trainings you've gotten from since you joined this business and all through January to June, what have you done with it? Hey, I know how to prospect. How has your knowing how to prospect increased your prospecting numbers? How has your now knowing how to prospect enabled you to get quality partners for your business? Many of us say, I have done this. Many of us have read some books. Many of us have read your first year in network marketing. Many of us have read GoPro. Many of us have read Business of the 21st Century. Many of us were in Jos for the retreat. Many of us were in Abeokuta for the awakening. Many of us were in Abuja for the Diamond Project launch. Any retreat that rings bell, we are there. One, bam, we are there. Free one, bam, we are there. We attend all the retreats, all the cell meetings, we don't miss anyone. But the question is this, with all these things, have you grown? All these things you have learned, what have they made easier? You know, when I started riding, after I finished my physical training, I was doing a lot of training by myself online. So there are many trainers who train you on how to ride online. So because you have the basic knowledge, they'll tell you do this, you do this. They'll tell you do this, you do this. They'll tell you if you want to move faster, advance, you have to lean your bike at this angle. If you lean at this angle and you're moving at this speed, the weight of the gravity will force the weight of the bike to throw the bike on the ground, so you will fall. If you lean higher like this, you won't be able to turn. You will move out of the road and you find yourself in the bush or in the gutter. So many of those things. And the only way to know whether you are leaning correctly is to go and lean. Interesting, right? The only way to know whether you are leaning correctly is to go and lean. How do you lean? By riding. How do you know if you are leaning well? If you pass, you didn't run out of track, you didn't run into the vehicle or the person riding beside you, and you still maintained the speed you want to maintain. That's only when you know when you are leaning well. Maybe with time, you now find out one day that as you try to lean, you lean so much that even your shoe touch the ground. You feel like, wow. He said, if someone behind you that will tell you, guy, what does happen? He said, I don't understand. He said, what just happened? He said, what is it? He said, your bike is more than how many degrees to the ground? Like, dude, when did you learn that? He said, well, it's a result of many times of falling and not falling and all that. So what this means is that the knowledge you have is useless if it cannot help you do what you do better. The information you have is totally useless if it cannot help you to do better. So the question is this, with all the information you've gathered, have you grown with them? With being in sessions like this, what have they enabled you to do better? Some of us will send me messages asking me the same questions they asked me 6 months ago. And when I look at those questions, sometimes I'm not in the mood to answer them and I just ignore them. Because even when you go through the chat of the same person, they asked you the same question 6 months ago, 3 months ago. It simply shows they didn't practice or even do what you advised. That's why the same question still comes up. So I want you to ask yourself, in the last 6 months, have you grown? In the last 6 months, have you increased your income? In the last 6 months, as the months went by, is it still difficult when for you to work with 3 people in your team, 5 people in your team? Some of us is even one down line and the sweat coming from our head can fill one bucket. The sweat from working with one down line, one that it got to the point that we even run away from the prospect and the new downline, and we are looking for a new one. You know, sometimes it's easier to run away. That's why this Craig David song, no, maybe that's part of why Craig David is no longer singing. I don't know what went down. You know that his song, I'm running away from troubles in my life. I'm running away. Oh, to find a better day. I'm running away. I said, where are you running to? Whenever I hear that song on my radio, I tune it to another station. You're running away from troubles in your life. No, maybe that mindset is why he's out of the music industry. Such a wonderful musician, such a wonderful talent. His voice is epic. For a man, his voice is epic. Some of us, instead of facing the problem and solving it and becoming tougher, we are running away from it. Instead of dealing with the issue and discovering a way to handle it, we are looking for a new location to go to. Now you've gone to the new location. How far now? Hello? Yes. Instead of solving the problem, we are running to a new location. Oh yeah, now you're in a new location. Have you solved the problem? Instead of looking for the problem to solve it, you are looking for a new mentor. Oh yeah, now you are in the new mentorship. How far now? Instead of facing the problem and solving it, growing. You see, when you solve a problem, you grow above the problem. Do you know that? When you solve a challenge, you grow above the challenge. You are standing on top of it. It means whenever that thing comes up again, you'll be like, I don't see your type before now. Waiting you carry come. Bring something. Is that all you got? That means you have grown. A child grows from crawling to walking. Have you not seen parents being restless when their child, who has been walking for the past 1 year, all of a sudden stops walking entirely and starts crawling completely? If you are a parent, will you be restless? Yes, you will be. Because this child has grown beyond this and all of a sudden is going back to this. This person has, you have way deep before above this now. What's going on? Many of us don't grow. We take one step forward, we take 5 steps backwards. When you grow, you are not jumping to a level. It means you've developed the right muscles to be above that which you have already overcome. So ask yourself, did you actually grow in the last 6 months? Let's go further. Did you help anyone grow? Did you help anyone grow? Did you help anybody make an income? Did you help anybody sustain an income? Did you help anyone know a skill? Or were you even the one that made someone to quit the business? Are you the one that made someone to become lukewarm in the business? Are you the one that by what you said, by what you did, by your body language made someone who was on fire to lose steam? Rather than help someone grow, you stopped someone who had the chance to grow from growing. I'm not asking you to tell me. I'm asking you sit back at your time and and ask yourself these questions and be honest. You know, some people, because they are very far from good things happening for them, make sure that people around them don't achieve better things than them. Imagine someone who has written JAMB for the past 5 years and has not gotten a cutoff mark. If you ask the person, what do I have to do to pass JAMB? One of the things they will say is that nobody passes JAMB. That's what they will say. Number one, it makes them feel good. Number two, they want to have another person in their circle who has not passed JAMB so that it will make them feel good about failing JAMB. Child. You know, there was someone in a gathering. This person wore, the etiquette to dressing is that your belt should match your shoe. If you're wearing a black shoe, you should wear a brown belt. If you're wearing a black shoe, you should wear a black belt. If you're wearing a white shoe, you should wear a white belt, especially when you're tucked in, when it's visible. And then in this setting, someone wore, a guy wore, for instance, I can't remember the other, but it was maybe, let's say, the person wore a brown shoe, but was now wearing a black belt. He didn't feel like best about himself because of that. And then the person now looked around and saw someone else wearing a brown shoe and a dark brown belt. And he said, "Huh, thank God, I see someone who is making the same mistake as me." And the other person said, "No, no, 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 I'm not making." He said, "What's the mistake?" He said, "You're wearing a brown shoe with a black belt." The person said, "No, no, no, I'm not making that mistake with you. I'm wearing a brown shoe with a brown belt. Look closer, it's a brown belt." And lo and behold, it was a brown belt. It is easy. It validates our inability by making us feel good when we know we have a shortcoming that other people are part of. If you are driving and you beat traffic lights, feel guilty. But when you look behind and you see two, three more cars who followed you and beat the traffic lights, you tell yourself, thank God, no be only me. Because it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good about being irresponsible. It makes you feel good about failing. And it applies to everything. So I want to ask you, did you help anyone grow or did you stop someone from growing? Them, I did not tell them not to go and prospect. Oh, I just told them that the one I prospected last week, nobody showed up. By telling them that, how do you think it was motivating to them? How do you think telling them that helped them to do what they should do? Could you have shared your experience with them and still urge them, but tomorrow I'm going to do more because I know it will happen? Tomorrow I'm going to do more than I did yesterday, even better. Since the people I'm finding are the people who cannot attend because they don't have cars and it is the rainy season. This month, I'm going to look for prospects. I'm going to look for my partners who have cars, who, if no matter what happens, whether it's raining or shining, sun shining, they can jump into their car and still attend my meeting, rather than looking for people who only go on foot. And once the rain drops, they can't come because who will be in the rain? Two different people, the same experience, but different outcomes. Did you help anyone grow? Did you help anyone grow? Let's go further. I want you to know this. I want you to know this. Today was January 1st. Today was January 1st. I don't know if you understand what this means. The person that understands this, the person that understands this statement is already saved. Today was January 1st. What it means is that December 31st will be today. Let me repeat that. Today was January 1st, 2024. June 30th, no, July 1st was January 1st. December 31st will be July 1st. Hmm. 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 I'm not going to say anything here. You can choose to repeat the cycle and get what you got, or break the cycle and get what you desire. You can decide to repeat the cycle. You can decide to repeat every single thing you did from January to June. It's a choice. You can decide to repeat it and you will get exactly what you got. Or you can decide to break that cycle. You can decide enough is enough. You can decide. Many of us had the worst Christmas last year. The worst. You can decide to repeat that pain. You can decide it. Or you can decide to break that pain. It's a choice. When we get, by the grace of God, Him keeping us alive, healthy, and in His mercy, When we get to 31st December and we have this talk, you will either be sorrowful or happy for the choice you made, either to repeat the cycle or to break the cycle. I told some people on Friday that at the end of the event that they were in, you can either get empowered or you quit. And at the end of this session, some of you will get empowered and some of you will quit. Some of you will quit. You're still here, but you quit. You quit because you feel, let me try something else. You feel maybe I'm in the wrong vehicle, you know. There are some people just this is just by the side. Some people who left the business and I see them doing other things. I see them doing some things like looks like network marketing. I'm happy for them. But the truth remains that if you still walk anywhere you go, you don't get paid. What I tell myself all the time is you've already been abused here. You've already been insulted here. You've already, there's so much that has happened here in this thing that I am not ready to let them go yet till I collect the trophy. You've protested so much in this business. You've invited so much in this business, and you're not waiting to collect the crown of the glory of the work you have done. You've cooked food, you've dished it, and somebody collected all the spoon and tied your hands and is eating and is about to eat the food. I think Ronti was you, right? That was telling me a story yesterday about an experience. I think one of your teammates who invited how many, I think, had 40 something confirmed bookings the previous weekend and nobody showed up. Maybe one or two showed up. And this time around, one of the people that was rescheduled came, and out of three, the person was the one that paid. And I was, in my mind, I'm like, what if from that experience, she refused to do activities to reschedule some people? So I want to ask you, and this time I want your feedback. Will you repeat the cycle or will you break the cycle? Will you repeat the cycle or will you break the cycle? I want you to stop looking outwards. Many of you are are held back because we are doing the thing that is easier to do, which is looking outwards. There is no office. There is nobody presenting for me. I am lonely. There is not, I'm doing all the work. I am over so many things that we can't control. So many things that happens to every person. Everybody, it happens to everybody. I don't have an office. If I had an office, I'll be inviting to the office. Yes, someone else doesn't have an office and the person is using home lunch to run their business. That's the same thing that is your reason, your validation for doing the act, not getting results. It's the same reason some of you may not know the story behind me starting to present. I never liked presentation. I never. Mm-mm. I never liked it. But this day I made up my mind that I will never depend on someone to present for me was the day I scheduled a home lunch and asked my leader, my upline. In fact, we agreed he was to come and he didn't come. He didn't come. For some good reasons, he didn't come. But as far as I was concerned at that point, what reason was more important than being there for me when you said you would? But rather than holding it on him, I told myself, he has other people like me. He has other people like me. I'm not his only downline. So I have to figure it out. I have to learn to present. It was the worst of scenarios for me, the very worst of scenarios. Presenting to drunk people, to children and to house help and wives. In fact, it was more like presenting to drunk husbands, gisting wives, and playing children. And that was my first presentation. Unprepared. Because I asked myself, this my upline is a human being. Oh. If he can stand and talk whatever and people sign up, can't I stand and still talk whatever and people sign up? The answer is yes, I can. And I have been because I decided to look inwards. I didn't look for who to blame. I was having the discussion with some set of people, and the person told me right to my face that if there is no, in fact, the other teams are opening offices for their own people. I am contemplating joining them because they have office. I was in a very good mood that period, and I tried to encourage the person. But right now, please go and join them. Go and join them. Go. Do well there. I wish you the best. I don't need you in my team, around me. No, no. Someone else faces such scenario and says, you know what? I can set up an office for myself. I can find a primary school who is, you say, I'm not looking for people who are waiting to be fed. I'm looking for people who want to feed other people. Yes. Look inwards. Stop looking for who to push responsibility to take it. Own it. Look inwards. My people are not listening to me. Why are they not listening to you? I tell them to do something, they don't take my word for it. Look inwards before you start looking outwards. Do they have pending payments that you are holding? Do they have products that you have eaten the product? You chop them, you chop them. Not even be say, if they aim global office, you chop them, you chow them, you chop them. It's clear. Look inwards. Look inwards. Stop looking for who to blame. So I don't know what is happening. When I talk to my people to do something, they don't do it. And yet in fact, you've wanted to, for the guys, you wanted to tidy all the females in your team. Any female that join your team, this one will be like saying I'm my own. Only you get prick. You want to use your portfolio. You're using your portfolio as a leader, as an advantage to get the females in your team to be your babes. You're a weak man. Means you don't have what it takes out there to toast a lady who is not in your team to fall for you. you're a weak man. Yes, because they are my leader, because I am their leader, because I am teaching them, they will be subservient to me. They if I tell them, they will, and this is an inkling. The thing, if you are giving someone value, if you are there helping someone, they calm down some of their defenses for you. So you take that advantage and you call yourself, if you're a man, you call yourself a man. You're not a man. If you're a man, go out there, who's the status stranger that you see you like. We start talking. We start talking. Look inwards. Look inwards. Look inwards. Ask yourself some questions. Stop looking for who to blame. I sign them up and they don't stay. What do you tell them when they come in? Do you make them feel they are inferior? Whether you sign in or not, somebody else will come in. And yet you collected the 20, they paid you the 20K. Why you know carry the 20K, go through inside gutter? No, why? Look inwards. Ask yourself some questions. Inwards, internally. They sign up, they don't stay. Ask yourself, how do I talk to them? How do I relate with them? How do I make them feel? When they remember me, what do they remember? That arrogant man, that saucy man, that arrogant lady. Let me tell us something. You need more than skills to keep a team. You need more than skills to keep a team, to keep your downline. You need more than that. Look inwards. How many people have you sponsored into the business from January to date? How many of them are in the business till today? Why did they leave? Why did they quit? Ask yourself that. For some of us, in fact, M Global, in fact, sometimes I don't even want to blame them. I still blame us. I still blame us because many of us are more interested in selling than in building. We are more interested in direct referral bonus than we are more interested in helping the people we sponsored to have direct referral bonus. I wish there is a platform that we put in place where till your downline gets a downline, you don't get access to your direct connectors bonus. Till your downline gets a downline, you would not have access to that 20,000. I wish there is a way they would do it. You will see that we'll have a better team. Till that person you sponsored sponsors one person, you will not have access to your 20,000. You will not have access to your 150,000. I want to ask you a question. If that is a scenario, if that is the condition, imagine that the condition for you to access that 150K you got from sponsoring someone with Maxivas. If imagine that the condition for you to have access to that 150,000 is that you help that person to sponsor one person, even if it's just the excess part. How many of us will our downlines not have downlines already? How many of us? How many of us? Imagine that is the scenario. But the good thing is this, we have a new 6 months. By the grace of God, we have a new 6 months. Well, everything I'm saying will either be a reproach to some people or a strength for those who want to make amends, for those who want to improve and really grow, for those who are telling themselves, I think I have picked a thing or two I'm going, just like Donatus prayed. I've picked a thing, one thing, this thing, this is for me, this particular thing. I think God asked this man to say, and to those people who have picked one thing already, I want you to start here. What do I mean by starting here? Start from where you are. This is a new month. Start with telling yourself, I am a full-timer. A week will not pass without me having two sales or having two people into my business or two codes into my business. A week will not pass or two sign-ups. A month will not pass without me having 8 sign-ups, 6 sign-ups, 4 sign-ups. That is what is going to be for the next 6 months. And each of them I sign up, I will not use the direct connectors bonus till they at least have one sign up. I will not touch that direct connector bonus I earn from them till I help them have a sign up. If I help them get one sign up, I can now encash that money. I can now use it. I can now know that this has become mine. Start here. I cannot do 4 in a month, do 2. Tell yourself every 2 weeks will not pass without me sponsoring at least one person into the business by myself. If you had sponsored 2 people every month from January to June, how many people would you have sponsored newly into the business? It would have been 12. If you have helped each of them if you had told yourself, I will not touch the direct connectors bonus I've made until I help them get a sign up each, how many would you have had in your team by the end of June? One person sign up for each of the sign up. That would be how many? 24. You would have ended June with a fresh team of 24 people. So start here. Start here. Stop looking for if you have the strength to do a lot of activity, please do. I encourage it. If you need my assistance, yes, I'll come in directly. But the least you should do is not to start here. Start here. The least you should do is not to pick up something and stick to it till the end of the 6 months. Pick it up. People are spending money every day, every single day. Why are they not spending on your opportunity? Start here. They're spending money every day. I saw a video of a trad, just a very simple trad for guys, not even for ladies. 90,000. It's even among the cheap ones. 90K. One sign up plus 20K. That's what, and people are paying for it. 90,000 naira. Imagine that people value the dress they wear on their body more than the business that can help them. It's because they've not understood that the business can help them buy a lot of clothes. And how do they understand when we explain to them and make it important enough? So start here. We keep looking outwards and we are not using or utilizing the things we have inwards. I want you to know this, that a life without consequences is a flawed life. Choose your consequences. No, there is an activity I started doing, and I gave myself a penalty. And I told someone that if I don't do this, I'm going to pay you so amount of money. Now, the truth is, I am not achieving the goal. So it is clear on my mind that I'm going to pay the penalty. But guess what? For the first time in my life, I've never done as much as I saw myself do within this my challenge period. Never. I didn't achieve my results, but I've never achieved the way I achieved in so short a period of time. Why? Because I put consequences. What is your consequence for not helping your downline to have a downline? What is your consequence for not sponsoring 4 people in a month? What is the consequence for not sponsoring 8 people in a month? What is the consequence for not doing what you know that will help you get results? What is the consequence for you? What is it? What is it? If you live life without consequences, you will live a flawed life. Football match without consequence is rehearsal. The goals don't count. If you tackle somebody, no yellow or red card. If you catch a ball with your hand inside the penalty area, football continues because there is no consequence. The scores don't count. Stop rehearsing, start living. Life is worth living when there are consequences. Choose your, I'm not going to stay here and tell you this is the consequence. No, choose. If you need accountability on it, let me know. But if you choose to let me know of the accountability, make up your mind to stick to it. If you make up your mind not to stick with it, I remove myself even before you know it. I won't even inform you. I was telling someone yesterday, we agreed we would do this, and you didn't do it. We agreed. We have this understanding. I did not. No problem. Just know that I won't be asking you about this anymore. Simple. There's no stress about it. I want you to know that always our business works when you work it. Some of us will say, I've been prospecting, I've been inviting, I've been showing them. The question is this, yes, you have been working. Have you been working enough? You've been prospecting. Have you been prospecting enough? You've been inviting. Have you been inviting enough? And when I speak about enough, I speak about in the right numbers, in the right numbers, and to the right people, to the right people. Have you ever seen, there's a guy, the guy I know about that sells aeroplanes. He doesn't advertise. No, he does not. Gulfstream 650 does not advertise. When Rolls-Royce is launching the new Phantom, what they do, or Luke Collinan, what they do is this, they give it as part of the invitation to those they're inviting to come and pick up their Rolls-Royce because those are the people who can afford it. Every business has an audience. We are showing your business to every Tom, Dick, Harry, and even Potter. You're showing all of them. And you're saying, I am working the numbers. Are you working the numbers on the wrong people? You're showing a business that requires 70,000 to sign up to someone who does not even understand what you're saying. To someone who, come on, are you working it enough? Ladies and gentlemen, the month of July, August, September, October, November, December will be what you make out of it. Pray all you need. Learn all you need. But I can tell you, you need to work all that is necessary. Many of us have prayed enough. I'm not saying that there is an amount of prayer that is enough. No. Many of us have also studied and learned enough. I am also not saying that there is an amount of learning that is enough. But I am sure of one thing. Many of us are not working enough. We are not working enough. No, you're not. Many of us are not working enough. Your challenge was consistency in January. In July, your challenge is still consistency. Are you working enough? I have, before I close, oh, this is already 9:30. Before we close, I promised us to share with us a strategy for giving out the video I created. Like I said, that video is not going to be, nobody should upload it to their status. Nobody should do that. It's on my YouTube channel, but it's unlisted. So it means if you search for it till next year, you won't find it. But I'm going to share the link. I think it can even be downloaded, but you can share it through WhatsApp. But if I find anyone, if I find anyone who sends it out and puts it on their status or go and upload it to YouTube, you will be sanctioned. Don't do that. You're not the only one running the project. Don't go and kill the business for other people because you want to. I won't even call it smart. You're looking for the shortcut because I don't know how many people have gotten sign-ups by posting presentation videos on their status. And those sign-ups they got already have sign-ups. Do it the right way. The first way I'm going to share with us is, which is what the only way I'm going to share with you now, because that's what I want you to do, is how to use the video to invite a friend, a colleague, or a contact to take a look at at our business. The good thing is that in 20 minutes, this video does maybe not everything, but majority of the things that and provides every information that the prospects should have or the pre-partner should have. Okay. Now, like I said, it works when you work it enough. When you do it the right way, do it with the right people and in the right numbers. Now, this will work best if, like this I'm showing you now, and the script I'm about to share with you is for those people who have not seen the business before, this particular script. Now, when you use it for those people, you have a chance, a higher chance of getting better results. So I would advise you do this on a call. Doing it on chat may not get you the best results, but if you call this person up, if you call this person up, call. It can be a WhatsApp call, it can be a normal GSM call, but calls will get you better results. The person's name is David, and you call David. Hello, David. Hope you and your family are doing great. Hello, David. How's everything? Hello, David. How now? How body? How every? Happy new month. Blah, 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 blah. All the present pleasantries. Be in a hurry and tell David, Ben, just want to ask you a quick one. What was the best thing that happened to your income in the past 6 months? Now, when you ask this question to an average Nigerian, 90% of them will tell you something negative. My brother, no be smart, you know. My brother, we hear we. If they ask me, like, say, no be you, I borrow 10K last. The majority of the answers will be negative. Only a few people will tell you something positive. No, it was the best 6 months ever. Now, let's assume that we focus on the 80% who will give you something negative. You can now take it a step further. Will you want to do, well, no matter what they say, no, the month now, man, this last 6 months, I'm praying for something better this new month. Oh, but man, the last 6 months, now God save me. Oh, whatever negative thing that they say, ask them, David, will you want to do something about it? He said, who will not? Yes, of course I will. You they ask me any of those responses, then you go further. There is this business idea I saw that promises to help people make more incomes for themselves legitimately and expand their capacity. They offer proper mentorship and training for free to their selected partners also. I came across it a while ago, and what I gathered so far makes a lot of sense to me. If I shared a 20 minutes information about it with you, will you make out time to go through it thoroughly and see if there is anything in it for you? There is a business idea I saw that promises to help people make more incomes for themselves legitimately and expand their capacity. They, you can even they also offer proper mentorship and training for free to their selected partners or to their selected members. I came across it a while ago, and from what I gathered so far, it makes a lot of sense to me. If I shared a 20 minutes information about it with you, will you make out time to go through it thoroughly and see if there is anything in it for you? If he says yes, you go further. When will you go through it for sure? I know you're busy, but it's only 20 minutes. So I want to know, when will you go through it for sure? I'll go through it today. So if I call you later this evening, you would have gone through it thoroughly, right? Please emphasize that word, thoroughly. Person say, yeah, I've gone through it. Now you ask the person, you now tell the person, see, David, the first half of 2024 is gone. And I've just discovered that if we don't do anything different and better than what we did in the last 6 months, this current 6 months will be the same as the last or even worse. So go through this if you are serious about having better incomes, and we discuss more when I call you. Fine, my brother, I'll go through it. Okay, then, talk to you later. There are different variations of this. There are certain objections that will come up from this. And that's what we are going to discuss next. So what does it mean? Go out there and use this. Now, when they say talk to me later, you now send them the link, which I'm going to send out in the group. The link for the video is, like I said, the 20 minutes video. If you are not aware of, when I send the link, go through it first, and then you'll see. For me, I believe the video is an amazing tool. In fact, that video came as a result of something I'm doing currently that I put a consequence on. So it gave birth to that part of it. So it's a wonderful tool that I am super excited about, not just because of the effort I put into making it, but because of what I see it can help achieve. Okay. So, use it. I want you to, excuse me, I want you to use it massively today, and tomorrow we are going to discuss the objections and how to handle the objections. So that's what I have for us today. I don't know if anyone value. I'm going to stop sharing now. I'm going to stop recording as well. I don't know if anybody noticed, but these people, the interface of Zoom thing is looking somehow, somehow.